is a professional performance strategist who can help you break through your barriers and achieve your true potential, both in your personal and in your professional life. Please welcome Kathryn McKnight. Hi, Kathryn. How are you today?
Hi, Kelli. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you go ahead and give us a little background about you and what you're doing with your life now?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. As a certified life coach, I have become educated in many different niches, from fitness to recovery to accountability coaching, sales. I have a long-term business background in sales. And I absolutely love helping people smash obstacles, break through those limited beliefs where they don't think that they can become the absolute best version of themselves so they can live a healthy, happy life in today.
So you mentioned accountability. Why is accountability the foundation for your coaching method?
Well, I like to share a little bit about my own personal journey. There was a time where I had a pattern of relationships where I was choosing people that weren't quite the exact fit for me. And I became a victim in my own mind. I was blaming everybody for why things weren't going the way that I felt they should go in a healthy, happy growth, personal development type relationship, building trust, good communication. And all this, I had that epiphany, that wake up call that, wait a minute, I'm responsible for my choices. I'm responsible for whether I'm staying in this situation or moving forward. And it sounds so silly, or some people might think, well, duh, but when you get stuck in this routine and pattern of doing the same thing over and over, it's the definition of insanity. And then you become this victim where you feel like everybody's wrong and, it's somebody else's fault, and you start making excuses. Well, when I became accountable for my part, where, we've heard the saying, where life's 1% what happens to us, but 99% how we choose to manage it and handle it. I just had that wake up call where I was like, I totally have power to control my life and the relationships and what I would like to see happen on my journey. So it was just this very freeing moment where I realized I was in total control. And it was a total transformation from within for me, with my mind, my body, my soul, just how I felt, my confidence, my communication. I took my power back. And I think there's a lot of people out there that fear being accountable, and it just keeps them in this negative keeps them with negative outcomes with the decisions and choices they're making.
So what was that aha moment where you finally went, you know what, I need to take control of my life again?
For me personally, I needed to stop drinking alcohol for me to even clear up my mind enough. I was a functioning person, so it's easy to be in denial that you would think a substance is creating an issue in our life. I'm very big into exercise and feeling good, and it was just distorting my choices. It was lowering my self-esteem because I was accepting unacceptable things. So putting that down, and choosing to do some work on myself, or 1 to 12 steps, whether it's codependency, Al-Anon, when you're dealing with a loved one who's suffering, or it could be, through AA, but they have 12 steps in various programs. And I believe in my heart that was the beginning of my aha moments. But you've got to be clear-headed in order to really understand that self-discovery and self-awareness. And that is where it's a major game changer.
Yeah. So how does accountability create transformation in our lives?
So by being accountable, we build trust, and we become way more confident in ourselves. And by trusting ourselves and being confident in ourselves, it allows us to basically be an example of that with others. We don't take things personal. We're able to communicate without being overly emotional. We feel secure in who we are. We know who we are. And in those instances, we behave differently. We think differently. We're able to change our perception in a way that's positive. We're no longer in a victim mindset, so we don't see ourselves as less than or lacking in self-worth or self-esteem. And then we can also guide others by being an example, primarily our children, and others that are struggling with that same situation. And maybe they're not, but it's good to be able to be consistent, gain trust ourselves. And then, we're just happier, we're healthier, we're solid. If we're whole, there's just a whole different vibe from within. We're not comparing ourselves. We don't need approval or acceptance. We're not competing with anybody because we realize we are enough just by being accountable. And the accountability part comes from being honest with which part is ours. If I act in a certain way, I've got to get in touch with the truth of what's really going on inside of me to where, if I'm somebody who's perceiving a situation wrong and acting on it, I could possibly be harming somebody with my words or my behaviors or, just believing something that isn't true. So perception plays a major role in that as well.
Yeah. Can you tell us any success stories? I mean, we've heard a little bit about your success story, but other people that you've helped.
Sure. I think just communicating with a couple of my clients, one of them was a gentleman was in a relationship and his fiance had broken up with him because he was angry and controlling and feeling jealous and insecure. And after we did some coaching sessions, we did about 12 coaching sessions. He had a transformation. They are engaged. They are going to get married. And he realized, he was, people have to go deep into the truth of where the root of it comes from. We have to uncover that piece that's causing somebody that fear and those feelings of not thinking they're enough or believing that somebody's going to cheat on them when the person's absolutely not really doing what they think is happening. So it's an inside job, and it made me feel wonderful to help him. And, he's excited that they've reconnected and they're doing great. And then I had another gentleman who had lost his wife and he was having a really hard time with new relationships. And we were able to work through that. And he's in a wonderful relationship, doing very well. So there's several stories where I'm pretty much able to see the piece where they're tripping themselves up. And by asking empowering questions to them, I can see where we've got to shift our thinking and get in touch with the truth and what we're really doing. And it's easy to have blind spots. That's why it's so important for people to have a mentor to help us see what we don't see. In some people, it's denial, which can be a survival mechanism, but at some point that's got to stop because it's creating a lot of issues and trust issues for our relationships or personal, professional lives with other people.
How important is accountability in the professional world as well? I mean, you've mentioned several with personal, but it also has a lot to do with your success in your professional life.
Completely. It's so important. It's very important for people to have self-awareness and be honest and not walk through their job with an ego or pride type mentality, because that can trip them up from treating their employees properly, communicating properly. Some people could, be costing other people their position if they're not honest or accountable for their part in a situation with a customer or a coworker. So it's very important to build that team, collaborate versus have your employees competing with one another. They feel safe, they feel trusted, and then they're motivated to do more and basically provide more and produce more in the workforce.
So, Kathryn, if folks want more information on how to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
My website is KathyMcKnightInc.com, and my email is KathyMcKnightInc@gmail.com. Also, I'll submit my LinkedIn profile, which they can always contact me through the messenger. But that's pretty much the easiest ways is through the email, I would say.
All right, Kathryn, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us this afternoon and share your story. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.